Okay. We are running. Audio is functional. Okay. Welcome back to HAZCAR. Just got done with points from the previous Talladega races. What crapshoots, but you know what? We roll. Welcome back to HAZCAR. Martinsville today. In the car of tomorrow. So here's Carl Edwards on the pole. With Trevor Bayne just on his outside. That's going to be an interesting start to the race. Then we're going to see David Gilliland and Kurt Busch in row 2, Bobby Labonte and Mark Martin in row 3, Regan Smith and Kyle Busch in row 4, and Paul Menard and Juan Pablo Montoya round out the top 10. Further back, we have AJ Allmendinger and Clint Boyer. We have Robbie Gordon and David Reagan. We have Tony Stewart and Jamie McMurray. We have Terry Labonte and Bill Elliott. We have Martin Truex and Dave Blaney. Joey Logano and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Last week's winner. That was obviously very much a delight. Even if he doesn't compete for a championship, I think just having Earnhardt Jr. win a race in Martinsville in Talladega is always great. Moving back, it's Casey Kane and Jimmy Johnson. Then further on back, it is, what's his face? Ugh, forgot his name. Travis Kvapil and Brad Keselowski. Behind them, Ryan Newman and Stevie Wallace. Then Greg Biffle and Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, of course, a stage winner and a winner in the Cup Series. Jeff Gordon and Michael Waltrip line up side by side with Brian Vickers and David Rudiman behind them. Then Matt Kenseth and Andy Lally. Then we have Joni Nemechek, Brian Keselowski, Jeff Burton and J.J. Yaley. Of course, J.J. Yaley, the improbably upset Atlanta winner from a couple months back. And then Marcos Ambrose and Kevin Harvick line up on the back row. Let me just make sure we have all 42 cars. Right? That is a 42 car field? Yes. Okay. We're good. Everything is okay. As we wait for the command to start engines.
Drivers, to your cars.
It's an empty stadium here in Martinsville. There were, Martinsville is currently under a bit of a infrastructural situation, and thus we couldn't sell tickets to the race, so we kind of just had to come by and run with empty stands. Hopefully, when we come back in the fall, nothing like this should arise. We will see. For now, though, it's an empty Martinsville. Not a single fan in attendance, unfortunately. Carl Edwards, I believe this is his first pole of the season. Trevor Bayne and Kurt Busch have been our pole sitters all season. But now, I believe, yeah, that's his first pole of the season. So, as they make their final preparations for the start of the race, as the pace car prepares to start and get going, we're going to hand things off to our Grand Marshal here today in Martinsville.
Drivers, start your engines!
Good job by the Grand Marshal there. And the pace car is off, lights are off. Always a good sign that nothing's going wrong yet. Here's the thing with Martinsville. Lap traffic is going to be a huge prominence because of the nature of the paperclip. So, it'll be a little interesting to see how is getting around lap traffic going to work, because there's not going to be any banked corners, so it should be a little easier for drivers to get around the lapped cars, as we've seen struggles in the past, mainly with the Bristol dirt track. That resulted in both of those races getting cut short. Anyway, Carl Edwards and Trevor Bayne lead us to the green flag in Martinsville. Good start from Carl Edwards. Immediately looks to get ahead Trevor Bayne. Unbelievable. Stevie Wallace is out of line and back there in the back. Trevor Bayne looking around the outside of Carl Edwards. Now into turn one, though. I don't know if that outside approach is going to work for Trevor Bayne. Edwards just has too much of a chokehold. Oh, never mind. Wait, this might work. Here they go. Into turn 3 and 4 on the ending side of the paperclip, and we look at our lapped cars, and I mean, they're already about half a lap down just by the nature of this track. That's where they start. They start half a lap down, which frankly sucks because I love lapped traffic, but I also want everyone to finish on the lead lap. I mean, me, myself, and my experience in racing, it sucks to be lapped. Because you know you have pretty much no position to fight for. So there you go. Trevor Bayne gets ahead of Carl Edwards and is presumably going to start leading a lot of laps in the stage. End of stage 1, lap 27 at a 130 lap race here in the paperclip in Martinsville here in Virginia. I want to see if Carl Edwards can catch up to Trevor Bayne and if we can see a proper battle out of these two, but I think Bayne is just gaining that little bit of lap time, lap after lap. And there's Gilliland on the bottom of Kurt Busch. He's looking to gain time on the 99 there. There he goes. He gets past Kurt Busch. Here he comes down the inside. Wants to pass Carl Edwards. Can he do it? It might be a bit of a struggle for the 34. Further on back in the field, here's Dale Jr. looking to get around Travis Kvapil, but I think the 38's just got... No, Jr.'s getting around him. Jr.'s never been quite the short track meister, but, you know, look at Kevin Harvick, slowest car on track, slowest in qualifying, and already about to be the first car a lap down. I think Carl Edwards and Trevor Bayne are going to be class of the field tonight. I think Edwards, though, starting on the outside in stage 2 is going to be a huge benefit for him, because he's going to be able to do what it was that we saw Trevor Bayne do just a couple laps before, where he used that outside to his advantage, pushed his car to the limit, and got around the 99. Anyway, back to the leaders. Very stagnated. Hopefully the Cup Series is going to be better. We'll make sure that, at least for tomorrow, the Cup Series has... Or, for the Cup Series race, just in general, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but for the Cup Series, we will make sure that the track races as good as possible. That the cars are up to speed. And that we can see some true short track battles through here. Because I'm going to admit, this is pretty boring, but we have to get it through. So... I think lap traffic is what's going to make the difference here. If we can get it by lap 27, which I think we will. And look at Kevin Harvick, he's right here on turn 3, and then now there's Trevor Bayne on turn 4. So they're probably going to have a lapped car or two to mix up the leaders here. Maybe Carl Edwards could get a stage win or two, hold on to a potential championship lead, to his current championship lead that he scored at Talladega, simply running the race and scoring 2 points. 2 points. Got him the championship lead over David Gilliland, which only scored 1. Trevor Bayne scored more points than Edwards, but of course he had less to begin with. So of course, with trial and error, these tracks will get better. Make no mistake, every track with 2 dates on the schedule, the second date will be way better because of all the extra testing and, you know, insight and just hindsight. And so here's where Carl Edwards is going to get a chance to catch Trevor Bayne. Here with Kevin Harvick. Look at how much time he just gained there. He just made up half his deficit. I think I know the issue. I think the drivers are braking too early for the corners because of the car in front of them. So I'm going to make sure that gets fixed for the Cup Series race. There's Gilliland on the inside of Carl Edwards. Gilliland and Edwards side by side. No, but Gilliland falls behind. He's aggressive on the brakes, though. Look at him. And here we go. Edwards now around Harvick. Or looking to be around Harvick. He's on the inside of Trevor Bayne. If we can see a finish like this, like that, on the last lap, that would have been incredible. So here we go. Just 4 to go on the stage already. And Edwards to the lead around Marcos Ambrose. Now J.J. Yaley. Can he get around him, and can Trevor Bayne get around Marcos Ambrose in time to snatch back the lead from Carl Edwards? I don't think he will. Now just 2 to go in stage 1. Oh wait, there's Trevor Bayne. He's there. He's got room. Potentially. There we go. He's got room. There he goes. Down the inside of Carl Edwards. 1 lap to go in stage 1. This could be a very exciting finish. Jeff Burton slow on the outside means Carl Edwards may falter here right at the end of stage 1. What's it gonna be? Trevor Bayne or Carl Edwards? One of them is gonna come to the line. Here we go. It's gonna be close, but it's Trevor Bayne to take stage 1. What a close finish for Trevor Bayne. What a way to, end things there. As Trevor Bayne heads down pit road, so does Carl Edwards and all the other leaders. Everyone else on the lead lap is coming down pit road. Just those few lapped cars we're going to see not come down for 1 lap more. There's Bane into his pit box. Bit of a slow stop for the 21. There he goes. He's off pit road and he's still in the lead. Now the lapped traffic on pit road means that they're not going to be a bother to, at the very least, our leaders. So, Carl Edwards, a very slow pit stop on pit road. Couldn't nab stage 1. And now, he sits with a bit of an issue, of course. As he is now in 5th place. Where did Matt Kenseth come from? He's got everybody checking up. Where did Matt Kenseth come from? Did he have that slow of a stop on pit road? No, but then he wouldn't have been allowed out in front of the field. What's he doing up there? Whatever. There should be one more lap to green here. Here we go. Trevor Bayne and everyone else gonna head around our lapped traffic. Huh. So lapped traffic doesn't seem like it's gonna be a problem here in Martinsville because they can just pull to the right and stop on the track. Go, buddy. Okay, well, we don't got time. So, ooh, Trevor Bayne. We're back to the green flag. Yikes, that was a really bad restart. Wow. Might have to call another caution. There's the caution. What's Bayne down pit road? Okay. Caution is out. Trevor Bayne down pit road. Make sure that we're not spacebarred on the caution button. Because I think I might have just I might have double pressed it. That might not be good. Gilliland down pit road. Yikes. Big no-nos. Where's Trevor Bayne now? Don't know why he pitted, but now he's away in the back of the field. He's gonna have ground to make up. Going green from the backstretch. So Kurt Busch and Mark Martin take us to the green flag. Stage 2 is properly underway now. .28 laps until the end of the stage, lap 66. Kurt Busch down pit road. Don't know why we're pitting, just so randomly. But that means Mark Martin's fighting for the lead with Carl Edwards. Oh, no, there's Carl Edwards to the pits. Why are we pitting? Well, yeah, look, everyone's on pit road. I think Trevor Bain's gonna be a lap down, though. He doesn't get off pit road before them. And yeah, it's lap cars now. Nice. So your leader, Mark Martin, Kyle Busch and Chase. No idea what's happening. I think we're gonna stop sending lap cars to the back because that's wasting too much of our time. No lap cars to the back. Bain on the inside of Kyle Busch to get his lap back. Oh, he's 2 laps down. Him and Carl Edwards are 2 laps down. So it's not going to be a Carl Edwards or Trevor Bain win tonight. Nor is it going to be the 34 or people we'd expect to win. Let's see who it's going to be. If Mark Martin can pull out a win, that's going to be huge for this championship. Kyle Busch can pull out just this 2nd place. He can take the championship lead now that Trevor Bain and Carl Edwards have had 2 off weeks. 2 weeks to mess it all up. Unless they're just making a masterclass strategy. Here we go, Mark Martin. Now into the lapped cars. It's on. Where's Carl Edwards? Carl Edwards still just half a lap to gaining one of his laps back. I mean, not the worst place he could be in. Would obviously be in the garage, out of the race. But at least he's not dead last. He's dead last, other than the 47. Bobby Labonte, which was out with an ignition failure. There's Trevor Bain looking to get 1 of his laps back. It might work out for Trevor Bain, not so much Carl Edwards. Unless Carl Edwards can fight his way up to the lead now in just 16 laps, 17 laps, 15 laps. Something like that. So there's Mark Martin now. But we know Trevor Bain is faster than Mark Martin. He has the faster car, he's the faster driver. And on his inside, yeah, it looks like he's going to do it. On the inside of Michael Waltrip now. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty short race, time-wise. Laps-wise, it's 130, but because of how short the lap is at Martinsville, it'll be fine. So Trevor Bain gets 1 lap back. See, he's now just 1 lap down. So if a caution comes out, or just wait it out till the end of the stage, then he'll have a chance to make the second lap up, and then bet on a caution to get him up all the way through the field. Maybe he stays off pit road. So but now the leader of the race is the 43, AJ Allmendinger. He's caught up to all these other guys, caught up in lap traffic. He's making a way around them, the Richard Petty 43. And he's doing great in the Cup Series, this guy. He's in the playoffs, he's above the cut line currently for the start of the playoffs. He's not in a playoff contending car, so he's in a colleague car, so we'll just have to see where the wind takes him here for this race. But Mark Martin, we're gonna get around Mikey Waltrip to keep the lead. Look at Trevor Bayne. He is just away. He is gone. Mark Martin's going to tick off a lot of laps led here in Martinsville. Perhaps even take the most laps led of the entire season. We'll see. So now, AJ Allmendinger went from leading to now having two cars between him and Mark Martin, and Clint Boyer on his inside. Regan Smith is still up in this. Regan Smith has been a constant for like top 5, top 10 car. Can he put it together to a win one day? That is the question. As he looks to get past Kyle Busch and potentially AJ Allmendinger, depending on where Mikey Waltrip decides to go. Sticks to the inside as Allmendinger's already on his outside. Trevor Bayne struggling to get around the 31. He can't really find his way around Jeff Burton. Burton's just in the way and he can't get around him. Martin's still leading, but the 43 now getting around Michael Waltrip finally means that he can start to chase. That's right, Mark Martin. Remember, all these other cars, the 29, the 46, the 92, they're all lap traffic. They're all a lap down, or sometimes even 2 laps down, depending on who you are. Say Carl Edwards, who, wow, he's worked his way through the field himself. He might even get his own lap back. 1 to go in stage 1. And I think it's going to go to Mark Martin as he comes to the caution flag alongside Kevin Harvick. Mark Martin takes stage 2. I meant stage 2. Stage 2 is complete. Mark Martin takes it. That is your top 10 for stage 2. As everyone's down pit road now, I want to know though, are the lapped cars of, say, Trevor Bayne going to stay out of pit road, start at the front of the field, and try to get their lap back? So, obviously you're going to stay out now because that's the rule. Lapped cars can't pit on the same lap as lead lap cars. But, oh my god, can I get on Trevor Bayne? Thank you. Let's look at Trevor Bayne, because he's the prime candidate to stay off of pit road. No, he's pitting. I believe Carl Edwards, that means, will also pit. He's also pitting, isn't he? Yeah. He is also on pit road. We also, HAZCAR officials have decided no more sending lapped cars to the back at the short track here in Martinsville and probably any other short track. So that is now the rule. No lapped cars to the back of the field under caution at the short track because we just don't have the time. So there will be no lapped cars going to the back on the restart. Holdups on pit road. We got trouble. All of pit road is backed up. JJ Yaley seems to have gotten stuck. Carl Edwards and Trevor Bayne. They are now back to 2 laps down. So it looks like Trevor Bayne's Trevor Bayne's still just 1 lap down. So it looks like Trevor Bayne's strategy could come to fruition here. It's just going to be incredibly difficult to pull off. It is still a possibility, though. So Trevor Bayne could still, in theory, at least score a top 10 here in Martinsville. So if you're a lapped car amidst the field of lead lap cars, you're going to stay there. So my dude, is Ryan Newman a lap down? Don't think so. No, Ryan Newman's not a lap down. Who is a lap down? Stevie Wallace, maybe? No, but if you're... Let's just say you're like a Matt Kenseth amongst a bunch of Carl Edwards. Or a bunch of Mark Martins. Yeah. So, classic style restarts. For the short tracks, as we see, pace car, and they're side by side. AJ Allmendinger. Those cars, there they go, and we're green again in Martinsville, stage 3 underway. Here we go. AJ Allmendinger already makes a pass on Mark Martin. Kyle Busch looking in the back. There's Juan Pablo Montoya, Regan Smith. That's your top 5. Or your top 6. With Jamie McMurray, Paul Menard, Robbie Gordon, and Tony Stewart making up the rest of the top 10. But as Mark Martin and AJ Allmendinger, as they're fighting for P1, that's going to give Kyle Busch a chance to use that to an advantage. They're going to slow each other down. They're going to look to see who can get the lead. How can I get around him? They're going to lose time, and that's going to give Kyle Busch a bit of an advantage should they get side by side. Juan Pablo Montoya, though. Oh, and we've got a caution. Caution who for? Caution's out. When did the caution come out, though? Caution came out right here. Who was around? It was David Reagan. David Reagan got into Brad Keselowski, spun, hit Jeff Burton and Joey Logano. Takes out, runs into Terry Labonte as well. And they're going to race back to the line. So that was what our first non-stage caution of the day will come out for. A lot of cars staying off of pit road. Regan Smith makes a ballsy choice to pit. He's saying, I think that there's going to be a couple more cautions here and there. Let's look back at that accident. with Regan Smith, or with David Reagan. Yeah, he just braked early. You see Reagan cleared by Keselowski? No. And then Keselowski takes him out. Looks like a certain accent. Of course, that wasn't actually why that happened. It just resembled it. Ugh. David Reagan's done nothing to Brad Keselowski, to my knowledge. So, yeah. Here we go. We look, apparently, as we saw, my accidental double click of the caution button didn't in fact affect the race. Pacing here in Martinsville always going to be a difficulty. I think here it's going to be one more to green. We're going to see the old style restart take place. And see, now we're going to be going green when we're supposed to go green. And so AJ Allmendinger is going to lead the field back to green in Martinsville. So there is AJ Allmendinger. Yes, I said dinger. It's almost hard to say Allmendinger without accidentally saying a slur. You know what I'm talking about. Regardless, AJ, I'm just gonna call him the 43-year AJ from now on. I'm not gonna call him AJ Allmendinger. So where's Trevor Bayne in all of this? So there's Carl Edwards, but he's still 2 laps down to my knowledge. Yeah, Trevor Bayne, just 1 lap down. Where is he at in all this? He's at the very back of those laps. Wow! Where is Trevor Bayne? That's not him, that's Terry Labonte. Is he on pit road? Oh. There he is! Oh, it took me a second to find him, but he's right with Carl Edwards. Of course he is, why would he not? So they're slowly rallying their way through the field. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't even know if it'll be enough to keep the championship lead secure. Allmendinger, though, going to take off a lot of laps led here. Without the lap to traffic in his way. I want to see Kyle Busch win. I want to see him take the championship lead because that's going to be a huge shakeup going into next week in going into the next race at Richmond, another short track. you know, of course, the race after this one is the Joe Gibbs 500 Cup Series exclusive. This series will not race there. Very dangerous course. Very dangerous race course. So we're only gonna take the Cup Series to the 3 mile to the 7 mile over, to the 7 mile egg. Seven-mile super speedway. It'll be an interesting race for sure. So, and then after that again, Richmond, and then is Charlotte Motor Speedway, which, from what I've seen, looks like it's going to be pretty decent. At least in the Cup Series, hopefully. Of course, that's going to have a different race format, extra points on the table. How it's going to work for Joe Gibbs is because it's such a large track, stay proportional with 500, with the way we've been doing the season, we're only going to have 2 stages, because otherwise the stages would be only a couple laps, and that wouldn't be very awesome, but, yeah. So, definitely... Yeah, that's going to be 2-stage race. That means 20 points for a stage 1 win. 18 points for second, all the way down to 2 points for 10th instead of 1. So the points for stage points will be doubled. And then for Charlotte, obviously 4 stages, because it's a longer race. 4 stages in Charlotte, with the playoff points, the playoff bonuses applying to this race. So 50 points for a win. Or what is it? 55 points for a win. And 15 points for a stage win. Let me double check that as we see. AJ Allmendinger's still got a couple laps till he gets there. Yeah, playoff points. Yeah, 15 points for a stage win, 55 points for a race win. It's gonna be a little to get used to. The only thing that won't apply is finale points. Finale points will not apply during Charlotte, during the Red Santa and the Coca-Cola. As you can see, these points also apply to all extra points races other than Joe Gibbs, because that only... Joe Gibbs. There we go. Surprised they even saw a caution here. These drivers are much more cautious than those in the Cup Series. You see the Cup Series guys spitting each other out all the time at the intermediates and maybe even at the short track. But these guys now, they're much more merciless or merciful to one another. No, I think David Reagan only spun because Keselowski just wasn't prepared for him to just check up like that. You know, I'm sure Keselowski didn't want to turn him. Probably. There's Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer. He's slapped traffic, yeah, but he's fast. The Richard Childress 33. And there's Trevor Bayne and Carl Edwards. But they're not really going to make it up to these leaders without a caution. Like, I know they have speed, but they don't have that speed. Especially now late into the run, with the tires and fuel, it's just not going to work. Lap 100 underway. So we're already 31 to go. in the entire race here in Martinsville. I told you it would be a longer race in laps, shorter race in time. We've been live for 45 minutes. I doubt this is going to take another 15, 30 laps of Martinsville. It's like a 20-second lap. 15 or 30 times 15. Let me pull out my calculator. 30 times 15, 450 seconds. Divided by 60 seconds, 7.5 minutes. We've got less than 10 minutes to go in this race. So, yeah. It's a short one. In terms of time. I'm sure the drivers are relieved to have such a short race. As I'm sure. There's Trevor Bayne. He's praying for a caution if he can get up to these leaders. Obviously, we can't actually see his margin. On Kyle Busch because he is a lap down and that's all the scoreboard will show us. But I have a feeling he's going to catch him sooner than later. Here go your 3 leaders. They're 8 seconds on Robbie Gordon, 4th place. Paul Menard 5th. I think this is all Kyle Busch needs to take the championship lead though. Because he's what? Setting the place for 34 points. Meanwhile, Trevor Bayne not so much. Definitely not Carl Edwards. Yikes. Basically, it's looking really bad for Carl Edwards and his potential championship. So, Mark Martin gets past AJ, 43. Busch still looming in 3rd. There we go now. Inside Greg Biffle. The 43 going to keep the 5 busy. If the 18 can just stick behind the 43. Not let the 5 get in between them. That's going to be a 2nd place, and then all he has to do is get around the 43 during 3 laps of traffic, and that's a Kyle Busch win. And there goes Kyle Busch. Around Mark Martin, Joe Nemechek. Busch is going to keep Joe Nemechek in front of the 5. But this is also slowing him down. Not allowing him to catch the 43. There he goes down the inside. 43 and 18, side by side. And there we go. Kyle Busch to the lead. In just a lap or 2. Hopefully. I want Kyle Busch to win this. I'm rooting for him. I know. Shocker. Here they go now. On the backstretch, Kyle Busch leading. Ooh, oh, and David Rudiman's around. That is going to bring out a caution. The yellow flag is out, and he's into Joe Nemechek. Unnecessarily. Is it Joe Nemechek with an engine problem? Did that come out from his collision? What was the... Where did his engine issue come from? I think he's just... Hold on. Oh, it totally came from the impact. David Rudiman takes out Joe Nemechek. as he spins. Here he goes. I think it was Kvapil. Kvapil being aggressive with the 0-0. Here they go. And on the back straightaway, he just turns into him. Unbelievable. Rudiman not going to be happy with Kvapil. And then Nemecek not going to be happy with Rudiman. So Nemecek is out. That's it for Nemecek. Small impact can have a small impact can have a bigger impact. So, lead lap cars are going to be starting on the outside, as they always have been. Terry Labonte on pit road. Maybe for repairs, but yeah. Nemecek is out for an accident. 47 out for an ignition. Everyone else is going to finish. My Lord, my Lord, they crucify my Lord, and he never said a mumble word. Here we go. One lap to green. Kyle Busch on the outside. Here they come. Whoa. Green flag out, but Greg Biffle with a weird stop. That's probably going to be a penalty. Caution is back out? Caution comes out again for Trevor Bayne. Whoa! Big accident. What happened? Oh, it was Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano got into each other and just... Whoa! Huge accident between the 11 and the 20. That's going to bring the caution back out again. Kyle Busch still the leader, though. Here we go. One lap to green. Lapped cars on the inside. Or not. Okay, green flag out. Kyle Busch brings us back to the green flag. That was a very strange restart. But here they go. They're going to have just a few laps to go. What is it? In the 8 laps to go. I think Kyle Busch is going to do it now with no lap traffic in his way, and he's pitting. Why is he pitting? Oh my lord! Kyle Busch down pit road. That means Mark Martin is your leader. Because AJ Allmendinger is also... Oh my lord! Why would he pit with 8 to go? Now 7 to go. Well, 6 to go for Mark Martin. Unbelievable. What are these strategies? Six to go. Now 5 laps to go in Martinsville. Ugh. Hate it when they make bad strategy calls. Well, 4 to go for Mark Martin. No one's got... They just got nothing on the number 5 now. Just in case there's a caution, now 3 to go. And here we go. Now just 2 laps to go here in Martinsville. Got Greg Biffle on him. Caution is out. No, it's not. I'm hallucinating. I thought I saw the yellow lights. White flag. 1 lap to go. Here in Martinsville, the 27. Now roll up on the 5. Paul Menard. Can we see an upset win? This one is going to be close. No, it isn't. Unbelievable. Here we go. Off of turn 4, Mark Martin for Hendrick Motorsports is going to get his first win of the season here in Martinsville. What could have been a win for the 18, Kyle Busch, becomes a delightful second win in a row for Hendrick Motorsports. Dale Jr. last week, Mark Martin this week. Aren't they pleased? And Mark Martin pulls into his pit stall and wins Martinsville. We're going to save that replay as the good day for Mark Martin. Thank you for watching HAZCAR. Well, tune back in soon for the Cup Series race. Probably tomorrow. Maybe Saturday. Tomorrow or Saturday. Tune in. And goodbye for now.